Welcome to day 8. We're going to wrap up 11.4, Fundamentals of Probability, Part 2. Today we're going to focus on empirical probability. So we finished with theoretical probability. So remember, theoretical probability is based on a set of equally likely outcomes and the number of elements in the set. By contrast, empirical probability applies to situations in which we observe how frequently an event occurs. Okay, so empirical is what we've observed. Theoretical is just the likelihood based on the number of elements in a certain set. So let's go ahead and talk about what empirical probability, or how we figure out empirical probability. Okay, so empirical probability of an event E is, so the probability of this event occurring, is the number of observed number of times that the event occurs over the total number of observed occurrences. So again, it's what we are observing. So for instance, if we are looking at this table here, okay, and we want to know if one person is selected randomly from the population, find the probability expressed as a decimal rounded to the nearest hundredth that the person has never been married. Okay, so has never been married. Let's go ahead and look at this. So I want to know the probability of never been married, okay? So I'm going to look at the number of times, or the number of occurrences of someone who's never been married over the total population, okay? The total number of observed occurrences. So if I'm looking at this chart, I'm looking at never married, so I'm looking at that total, so that's 74, okay, over the total number of occurrences, observed occurrences. Okay, so that's 74 over 242, which we get 0.30578. And if we're rounding to two decimals, we would really have 0.31. And then if we wanted to talk about it as a percentage, we could go ahead and say 31%. Okay? All right, try the second one. What is the probability, okay, that a person randomly selected is a male? So do part B right now, looking at your table, and see what that empirical probability is going to be. Okay, so hopefully you recognized, or you got 0.49 as your answer, because looking at the number of males total, so now I go over here, I find the male row, and there's 118 total out of 242. So the probability that I randomly select a male from this population is going to be 0.49, or 49%. Okay? So now we're just thinking about the law of large numbers. Okay? As an experiment is repeated more and more times, the empirical probability of an event tends to get closer to the theoretical probability of that same event. Okay, so as we do this more and more and more, those two are essentially going to be the same in the end. That's all we have for today, a nice short and sweet video. If you have any questions on empirical probability, make sure you ask in class next time we see each other.